That's it from us.
Yeah, that was amazing. Yeah, I think a lot of use cases that are very simple to implement right now.
Exactly.
Thank you very much, William. We go now to the roundtable session with Carol, with Boy, and here is Boy, and with Ruben. I hope Ruben is also there from Vodafone Ziggo. That will be great. Hi, Boy.
Good morning, Wouter. Nice to be here.
Good morning. So, how is your day today, Boy?
Well, my day starts with you, so that's a good beginning to a day, right?
Yeah, that's it. Oh, I hope Erik will come back, and also Carol and Ruben will join on main stage. Here is Erik. So my first question to you, Boy, you are working with Spacewell as well as Jan. Well, the future of offices, how will they look like in the next year or in 3 years? What do you think?
What do you think? Well, that's the big question, of course. If you asked me that question six or 8 months ago, then my answer would be completely different, of course, than it is right now. I think it's going to be a curious mix. We will see a lot of different branches of types of companies shrinking their office spaces, in my opinion, but not necessarily the amount of people that work there. There's going to be a mix of working at home and working in the office. And technology and data is going to be needed to support a real estate manager or an office manager, for example, to manage that change. And Erik, I watched your presentation with William just a couple of minutes ago, and those use cases are going to be crucial, absolutely crucial, to support those people and those employees to keep working efficiently and healthy and also satisfactory in the future. And I think that not everything is going to be able to be determined right now, how it's going to pan out. But I think there's going to be a curious mix of some companies who don't really change at all, and a lot of companies that are going to have to change their square meters, shrink, but also keep their offices very, very attractive for their employees to keep working there if they want to. And I think Erik has a couple of very, very good use cases for that. And of course, what's going to be very, very needed for that is the data, because we're not going to do that by our intuition. The data is going to be one of the most crucial aspects to that, and interpreting that data. Plastering sensors everywhere is going to be very, very good, but interpreting the data that comes from them and knowing what you're going to do with it is very crucial.
Yeah, how do you look at that, Erik? Because you get a lot of data with all those little sensors that you can just put everywhere. How do you look into that? How do you make?
Well, I couldn't agree more. I think what Boy is saying here is exactly right. I mean, and that's why we take the position that we do. We come from semiconductor companies, chip companies before, and basically we saw that our customers found it really hard to make, I would say, low-cost electronics reliable and be able to support scale. So we try to solve all of those issues, both in terms of reliability when it comes to scalability. Many sensors have a kind of a ceiling at say 200 sensors, 1,000 sensors, whereas we can run 100,000 sensors in an environment. And then this is about collecting the data from all sorts of environments. We're trying to make the sensors as agnostic as possible to use case, but still so that our partners can define as use this or as, I would say, as concrete and good in as good and concrete applications as just possible. And that is why we need the analytics. So to Boyd's point, analytics is really, if you want to do it well, it's really about understanding the user and get reliable data into the system. And once if you don't understand the user, or if you don't have a reliable data, you will basically have a mess out. And no one wants to have that. Basically, we'll control humans in all kind of directions and make the wrong decisions. So yeah, that's why we are here, and that's why we want everyone to build applications on top.
Yeah, Ruben. Ruben is from Vodafone Ziggo. Welcome, Ruben, on stage. Ruben, how do you see that? Do we know the users? Do we know them?
Oh, well, we hope to know them, but still we are surprised by their behavior in a constant changing world. So, but we work hard to get to know them, and I think these times also show that we can still learn a lot. But I think, and also Carol showed her presentation, there are a lot of surveys being done that gives us wonderful information. And of course, by measuring, by using data, we will get to learn much better. And we also apply that at Vodafone Ziggo. So we know them, but still a lot to learn.
How do you see the future of offices at Vodafone Ziggo? How do you see that after the post-pandemic? Are people coming back to the office, and how are they going to use that office space?
Yeah, they will definitely come back to the office. We at Vodafone Ziggo say stay connected, and that's definitely where we are going to use the offices for, to stay connected with the colleagues, the interaction with your own company. But they will also will work at home for a few days, and we are preparing our future for that. So the advantages of working at home, but also working together at the office, but less office space, definitely.
Yeah, Carol, welcome back on stage from Cushman&Wakefield. Of course, I think we go back to the office, but if we have like high-rise buildings, that is a question of Arnis Kalkudis from Econ. How are we dealing with the vertical transportation through the buildings to access office space? Because we still need to have like the consideration of social distancing and kind of stuff. How do we get to the 22nd floor? How do you see that?
At least in Asia Pac, most of our country have started to going back to the office in Asia. The safeties, the limitations of the lift capacity are still very much in place, to making sure that instead of 8% lift, we are down to 4%. So that is why we are seeing a lot more companies are implementing staggered hours to just make sure that people are coming in at a different time, so that they don't get over congested at the lift or even at the public transport situation. So I think there have to be flexibility in policies and people, the way that people work, to help to manage in terms of all these hard services and the vertical access into our office spaces.
Yeah, cool. So today we talk about the 6 feet office. What's next for the 6 feet office based on your learnings or new learnings? Because, well, we're into this like a couple of months. So what can you say about that?
I think one thing about 6 feet office that we know is, at least in APAC, in what I know, what I've seen every day is, we do see that in APAC, the 6 feet, maybe we will down to 1 meters to 6 feet is the range that we are looking at. Depends on the different countries' regulations. We do see that there will be more implementations of the phase approach, right? As we return to office in Asia Pacific. I think one of the learnings that we have seen is that the role of the office, what will be the purpose of the role of the office, so that whether it's coming from focus work or coming from different collaborations, that will definitely going to impact the way that we design moving forward as well.
Yeah, cool. So Ruben, how do you see that? The future of offices? What is the most exciting thing that people or employees want to see in the future office?
The most
what is that for you?
Well, I think that's a very difficult question, because it means that I need a glass ball to look into that. But what we see especially is the working together, the brainstorming, and the real interactions. So I guess that will have a reflect on the office layout or workplace concepts for the future, because I think that will have a shift from the more traditional meeting towards another kind of meeting and collaboration between colleagues. How it exactly will look like, well, that's a struggle we're currently in, and looking into the future for how our new workplace concept will look like.
Yeah,
but that's a search still, and I don't have a definitive answer yet, Wouter. But hopefully, I can come back to you in a few months.
Maybe it will be something like of an adventure park where you really want to go to and have fun also together with your colleagues. But I don't know. I'm just also guessing.
No, but that's a very strong point. I mean, you want to go to the office. I think that must be very important. Is there enough for me? Is there benefits for me? Do I want to go there? And what can I get from going to the office? That's of course very important. It must be a really nice place to go to.
Yeah, Boy, you are also working with Spacewell with a lot of technologies to create smart buildings. What do you think is the impact of technology for the employee in the end?
Well, in the end, I think it's going to be beneficial, of course, for the employee. However, to get that into the mind of the employee is going to be a challenge, I think. Smart offices, like in the last presentation said, keep it simple to make sure that employees understand the benefits of technology to help them and to support them in their daily tasks. That's going to be the biggest challenge, I think. Because when we keep it simple and present it to them in a very easy way, then they're going to see the benefits very quickly. For example, reserve an office space, or like Ruben said, to make sure that my team working together can do that in a very nice to be environment in the office. That are very good use cases to make sure that an employee sees the benefits of technology in the future in their office space. So I think that making sure that employees understand the benefits, and also in very simple use cases, is going to make sure that employees are going to see what it does for them.
Yeah, Erik, you want to say something, but I also have a question for you. So remember what you want to say. First, tell your story. Tell what you want to say, and then I will ask you a question.
Okay. So I do agree. I think that probably COVID has accelerated now is something that would have come anyway. I think it's about understanding the environments out there, observing the environments without human interaction, because human interaction costs money, and then, as mentioned earlier, need analytics to get any information and actions out of it. And what we see now with COVID, especially with cleaning efficiency and cleaning validation and these kind of applications, is that suddenly the companies make the investment because there has been a compelling event, and that has started at scale with us, and I think with many others. So remote monitoring and touchless, I think that we'll see more proof points on that coming. And by that, with the kind of arguments that has been brought up here, I think we will also see on the analytics side more dynamic space allocations, because there will be people will be more flexible in the office environment. Maybe not the square meter of offices will be reduced, but because of the 6 feet rule and not more person or a maximum of people in a meeting room and so on, there would be kind of a different environment. So I actually think that it's a very interesting time now that would have come anyway, but it's accelerated by the situation that we have.
Yeah. One more final question to round this off for you, Erik, is you're working with technology, you're working with those really small sensors that you created. What is it what you would like to bring to the office space in 1 year time? So you don't have it now yet, but what would you like to bring to the office space in 1 year time?
You mean applications and use cases in the commercial real estate environment? Well, I think we've kind of had this vision for many years, but I would say the IoT partners and the applications hasn't really been there. Spacewell was actually one of the first that we work with. And we see that that's a very interesting application, and also see that ERP systems and so on are now starting to get more data into their systems, so they don't need to have this kind of human thumb input. But I do think that cleaning efficiency, basically because there's a huge ROI there, but these companies need to change. I can give you one example. Typically now, a washroom could be cleaned 2 times a day, or at least 1 time a day. With automatic observations, just counting how many times a door is open and closed, and then clean every 50 times. I mean, it's a completely different world. You increase the quality of service because you clean when it's necessary, and you reduce the cost. So we have an average ROI in some of these cases maybe I shouldn't mention number because that's more on the partner side, but it's quite substantial. And then I think what we see now as well is that it becomes very important to clean. And then cleaning validation comes in as, has it actually been cleaned? Is it clean water in the bucket? Kind of these silly, small use cases that we mentioned here, but which is actually making a big impact.
No, that's great. Well, thank you very much, Ruben, Carol, Erik, Boy, for this roundtable session. Also for your keynote, Carol, thank you very much. I hope you have a great day here at Real Estate Futureproof and enjoy the networking on all the other keynotes. So wish you all the best.
Thank you very much, Wouter.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Bye.
Bye-bye. We're going to try to get all the people on board right now from Fiapsi, but I don't know if it's working because we had already on the background, we had a couple of emails and conversations that people couldn't get in. So I hope it works. If it doesn't, well, it doesn't. And then we do it. We bring it back later, of course, to you, because we would like to bring that session to you. We have now also, you can see on the right side, you can see the sessions. So the sessions are on the right side of the screen, and you can go there as well. There will be a couple of sessions. I know from Wire. Hey, there is Zoltan. Hey, now we get some people from. Hello.
Hi.